How's it going, everyone? Welcome to week 15 of the course. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Let's remember this is our last week of class, and then we have finals week next week. So let's go over what we're going to be doing this week. This week, in terms of new content, we'll cover chapters 9 and 10. Now, we're only going to cover a portion of that. In fact, it'll be even a little bit less than we did for chapter 8. Remember that last week we covered chapter 8, and we had a homework due on it this Sunday. It only had 3 questions on it. Chapters 9 and 10, those lectures will be even a little bit shorter, maybe about 30 to 40 minutes in duration, so about 10 minutes less than you would expect. And what I'm basically going to do is have one video where I introduce the general concepts. I'll have one video where I do an example problem, and then I'll have another video where I actually get you set up on the problem from chapter 9 and chapter 10 on exam 3. Now, you might wonder, well, what is exam 3? Is that coming out of nowhere? So hopefully, if you listened to the video last week, you're not overly confused by this. But what we're going to do is we're going to have the homework for this week basically be an exam. So it's not going to be timed. You're not going to have to complete it in a 2-hour window like you did previously. You don't necessarily need to turn in your work. And basically, it's going to, and in fact, if you look on Mastering Engineering, it actually looks just like it's a homework. But when I average it in your grade, I'm going to average it like an exam. So hopefully that'll take a little bit of stress off and allow you to kind of make sure that you have a full understanding of all the material that you need. I just made that exam a few minutes ago. I think there are 5 questions, a couple. It goes all the way back actually to chapter 7. So there is one problem where you determine the internal force system inside a beam. There's one problem from chapter 8 that's based upon an example that I did in the actual lecture last week. I think the chapter 7 one, I picked either a homework problem or one that's nearly identical. And then the ones from chapters 9 and 10 won't be too bad at all after you watch the lecture videos this week. So in addition to getting that exam 3 done, the other thing that you want to make sure you do this week is get caught up on any homework that you're behind on. Even if you can only get a little bit of it done, the worst thing you can do from a grade point of view is take zeros. So if you're able to get any of that done, that would be wonderful in terms of improving your actual grade. In addition to the chapter 9 and 10 material this week, I'm actually going to record about a half hour to 45-minute video review for your final exam, which will be held next week. And my plan on this at the moment is to post it on Monday and make it open, and you just have to turn it in Saturday before 11:59 p.m. Now, I don't want this to be a stressful final exam at all. What I really wanted to do is kind of to be an indication to you of the basic things that you need to master in statics in order to be able to move on to dynamics successfully. So much like I discussed last week, it's not going to be a very detailed problem like you're familiar with in the first 3 exams that we've had in the course, but rather it's just going to cover a lot of the fundamentals that once you watch the actual exam review video, which might not get up until late in the week or even perhaps over the weekend, but just make sure that you watch it before you actually take the final and spend a little bit of time prepping. That way you know what questions will be on there. But again, it's not time. So worst case scenario, if you start the exam and you don't know how to do something, just go back and watch the final exam review video. And hopefully that'll clear up any issues for you. I'm not saying that I'm going to give you all the answers in the final exam review, but at least it hopefully will provide some clarity. So again, exam 3 this week, take home feel, not timed. Reach out if you have any questions. Final exam next week. It's not going to feel like exams 1 through 3. It's going to be just fundamental, making sure that you know what you need to retain in order to be successful in dynamics, and make sure to catch up on any things that any problems that you haven't done up until this point yet. And by problems, of course, I mean particularly the homework there. I think a lot of people, chapter 7 and 8, haven't completed it yet. In fact, I think only 5 of you have completed chapter 7. And a few of you have only completed chapter 8. So if you have any questions on those, do feel free to reach out as well. I will talk to you all soon, and I'll see you in the lectures this week.